3, 2, 1. Hello, I'm Tyeewhyee, and welcome to a brand new series with
me, BlueFlare66.
We are playing Auras, and it's not just going to be any old Auras co-op Nuzlocke. It will be an egglocke, so we're going to be doing a co-op egglocke series. Both of us will have eggs submitted by you, the viewers. There will be a clip immediately following this announcement here, which will explain how we would like you to submit the eggs. But before we do that, let's go ahead and see what our starters are. Of course, the only reason that the starters matter are that we want to pick the starter that will be, give us the best chance of basically winning our first fight against the against our rival, because after this we're going to be swapping out the starter for the very first egg. So why don't we go ahead?
Yeah, we can go ahead and start. Basically, we're just gonna try and strategically pick based off of the Pokemon that we want our rival to have first.
Exactly.
Oh, it's a little.
So you've got Kangaskhan, Feebas, and Poliwag. I've got Slowbro, Fletchinder, and Klefki.
I would give your person Klefki.
Because that would mean that
I don't know which one you take. I think middle. Crap, I actually don't remember. Hold on. Let me check real quick.
Alright, so is it
I
fire, grass, water? I'm trying to remember the order.
It is fire, grass, water, I think.
All
so
right.
for water, you would pick. I don't remember. In this game, it's so that's water.
Up against
Torchic.
Slowbro. Sorry, it would be up against Fletchinder.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not ideal. I would be weak to it.
Well, I mean, you're not gonna keep the Pokemon anyways.
No, it's just. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter.
You just want them to have the worst one. Now the real question is, do I go with Feebas as his Pokemon? Because if I go as Feebas with his Pokemon, it could evolve into a Milotic with Marble Scale.
True.
Now if it does that, I doubt it would really be a problem because he's not, competitively viable. It's not going to be Fire or Flame Orb. So I mean,
yeah.
I think I'm going to go with Kangaskhan here. I think it's the
Yeah.
best choice. So he doesn't get Poliwag, which can evolve into a Politoed, or Poliwrath, which is really good. I don't give him Kangaskhan much.
Yeah, I'm thinking I go with Fletchinder because that basically sets him up with Klefki, and that doesn't really do much, right?
It shouldn't. Oh, my game lagged a little bit.
So I'll be picking Fletchinder for this battle, and that basically makes him stuck with Klefki. So here we go. What just happened there? Whoa!
Oh, Mega Pidgeot.
That's kind of.
Oh my god, we're gonna be here for so long. I'm just gonna speed up through these multi-hit moves because we both only have multi-hit moves. We both only have Comet Punch.
All right.
Oh my god, I can't believe I'm struggling with the Bonsley.
So, we should be, so we made it through our first battle there.
Barely. That took forever.
Sure did.
Oh.
So we get Pokedex now, right?
Yep, I got Torchic, so it was fire, grass, water, I think.
Yeah.
Because I chose... Wait. I lied. Oh. Oh well. If you know we give him better Pokemon.
Oh well.
Maybe it'll make it more interesting.
Yeah.
Because apparently I picked Torchic, but I picked the middle one.
Yeah. And I picked the grass type, Rico.
Oh, so you picked Trico. So you're gonna get whatever the middle one was. So you're gonna get Slowbro.
Oof. Not ideal.
And then I'm gonna get.
We'll just name this Bro, because it really doesn't matter what I name it.
Water.
It's a female Bro.
He's gonna have Poliwag. For me. Alright, well, I mean, we tried to make our best decision.
We tried. So,
we tried our best.
We will end off the announcement here. Don't go anywhere, because immediately following this announcement, we will have a description on how to and where to send the eggs.
Yep.
You will have the chance to send eggs until August 31st, 2022, after which we'll be incorporating the eggs and starting to record the series. So don't miss out on your chance to send in eggs. We're really excited to see what eggs you'll be sending in. Keep in mind that you're going to be sending eggs both for BlueFlare and for myself. So make sure that you send in eggs for both of us.
Yep, and we're going to have where to send them on the screen now, or we should at least, and the format you should be using whenever you send the eggs, so that we know whose egg is, well, for who, basically.
Yeah, so we will say our goodbyes here, but don't go anywhere. Immediately following this message here, you'll see a description on how to create the eggs. Till next time, have yourselves an awesome time zone.
Hey guys.
Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with how to create eggs using PkHex. The very first thing you are going to do, and all the links are in the description down below, so make sure to check the description for these links. But the first thing you're going to do is download PkHex version 22.06.26. This is the most recent version of PkHex, and will work with all games up to and including Pokemon Legends Arceus. But obviously, we will be using it for Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So now that you've downloaded PkHex, you're going to open it up. It will look something like this here. And the next step is you're going to download the save files for BlueFlare and for Tyeewhyee. Once you've downloaded those save files, you are going to go to File, Open, and you are going to import one of those save files, whichever save file you want to add eggs to. You're going to import it. In this case, let's open up Tyee's, for example. And you're going to see something like this. There's a whole bunch of things here. It might look a little bit complicated. Don't worry. Let's walk through how to create a Pokemon for this egglocke. Now, the rules for creating eggs. The egg must be a legal egg. This means it must be a Stage 1 evolution or a baby Pokemon in a particular evolution line. Now, if a baby Pokemon exists in that evolution line, we will leave it up to you as to whether or not you want to include the Stage 1 evolution or the baby Pokemon. Doesn't matter. It just has to be a Stage 1 evolution or a baby Pokemon. You are not allowed to include any legendaries or mythical Pokemon. It must be a, Pokemon that's not considered a legendary or mythical Pokemon. It can be anything that's got a 3-stage or 2-stage or 1-stage evolution. Just make sure that if it's a multiple stage evolution line, it has to be the base stage. All right, rules out of the way. Let's take a look at how to create a Pokemon. You are going to pick the Pokemon that you want to create. Let's, pick Wailmer, for example. Now you remember that we said it has to be the stage 1 evolution. We would not be able to pick Wailord. We would have to pick Wailmer in this particular example. So we picked Wailmer. We are now going to nickname it. Let's nickname it Bog. Make sure to pick a nickname that doesn't spoil it for us or give away some sort of hint as to what Pokemon it might be. You're now going to set the Pokemon ID. If you want it to be a shiny Pokemon, you are going to click this starred button here. Now, it might be a little bit easier if I zoom in on PkHex here, so let's zoom in and make it a little bit bigger. So now we have ourselves a shiny Wailmer. You can see that based on the fact that it's a pink Wailmer here. If you do not care about it being shiny, just click Reroll, and you will get a non-shiny. But if you want it to be shiny, don't click Reroll. If you don't care about it being shiny, just click Reroll. It will randomize the Pokemon ID. We're Gucci then. Pick some sort of nature, whatever you'd like. Whether it's a helpful nature or whether it's a troll nature. That's all good and fun as part of the Egglocke experience. You can optionally add a held item. If you want, you can, pick something that might help us. Give us a troll item, doesn't really matter. But that's optional. You do not have to include a held item. Abilities. You must pick an ability that the Pokemon can normally have. Hidden abilities are okay. As long as it's a hidden ability the Pokemon can normally have. Make sure that the friendship is set to 0. The language is set to ENG or English. And then click Is Egg. The hatch counter is going to be set at 0, which means that the Pokemon will hatch as fast as it possibly can, making us spend less time running around trying to wait for this thing to hatch. 3DS region, you can leave it as is. You can pick the country that you're from if you really want. For me, that's Canada. You can also add a sub-region, doesn't really matter. I'll add Ontario because that's where I'm from. All right, so we've got Wailmer, we've got a nature set, we've set an item optionally, we've given it its ability, we've made sure that it's an egg. If you want to infect it with Pokerus, click Infected, and then select the number of days that you want it to be infected for by selecting a number between 0 and 15. The D, I think, is the variant of Pokerus. It must be a number between 1 and 4. 0 means that it's cured, so do not click 0 if you want the Pokemon to have Pokerus. All right. Under the Met tab, make sure the origin game will be Omega Ruby if you are sending the egg to Tyeewhyee. The origin game should be Alpha Sapphire if you are sending the egg to BlueFlare. This should automatically have been set when you imported the save file. So if it isn't, make sure that you go back and re-import the correct save file. Met location, leave that as none. Don't set anything there. All right, so make sure that we have a met level of 1, because that's how eggs work. We meet it at level 1. Make sure it's as an egg. Optionally, you can set the egg met conditions. It doesn't matter for this particular purpose, but if you want to, you can say, you know, daycare helpers. You can say a faraway place, whatever you feel like here. If you really want to, you can set it as today's date if you want. You can leave it as is, doesn't really matter. All right, stats. We are going to set the IVs of the Pokemon. You can either set them by clicking randomize IVs to give them some random assortment of IVs, or you can manually set the IVs to whatever number you want. You can do a combination thereof. Just make sure they're not 0, or that would be really cruel and unusual punishment for us. But do not set the EVs. The EVs you will leave at 0, because eggs will naturally not have any effort values as they've never battled a Pokemon before. Attacks. Go and take a look at Cerebi and look for the moveset associated with Generation 6. So let's go to Cerebi. Let's look up Wailmer. Go to the Gen 6 Dex. And you must either select the level 1 move, which is the first move that appears. It has a dash next to it. In this case, the only thing that Wailmer knows at level 1 is Splash. So we will give it the move Splash. We will also set the relearn move to Splash in this case. Alternatively, if you want to buff up the Pokemon, you can teach it any one of the legal egg moves listed in the Cerebi Dex for Generation 6. In this case, Wailmer can learn Aqua Ring, Body Slam, Clear Smog, Curse, Defense Curl, Double Edge, Fissure, Sleep Talk, Snore, Soak, Thrash, Tickle, and Zen Headbutt. So you can either just give it a level 1 move, you can teach it, or quote, teach it, any one of these set of egg moves. I don't know, let's give it Double Edge for fun. Let's give it Sleep Talk and Zen Headbutt, just for fun. These are the legal egg moves it is allowed to learn. And finally, the last thing you want to check is to make sure the original trainer has been set to Tyee. If this egg is for Tyee, it should automatically be set when you upload the save file. Make sure it says BlueFlare if it's for BlueFlare. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to right click on an empty cell here and click set. So now we have ourselves a Whalmer that's set as an egg in the second slot in the first box. You can go ahead and get rid of the Abra, and you can move this Whalmer if you want. Doesn't really matter. Abra is not going to be a valid egg for the game. I put it in there just as an example. So you now know how to create eggs in PkHex for the purposes of this egg lock. So, how do we submit eggs? You are going to export the save file. In this case, it's the tyee save. So, we save it as the tyee. You go ahead and save it as the tyee save. Save it somewhere that you can easily access it, because you're going to need that save file to send to us at the following email address: tyee.blueflare.oras@gmail.com. You've now created eggs for Tyee. You will go through the same process of opening the BlueFlare save file and creating whichever Pokemon you want. You just go ahead and click set every time you create a new Pokemon. You're then going to save the... You're going to click export save. Save it as the BlueFlare save. Save it somewhere you can easily access it. And then send it to tyee.blueflare.oras.egglocke@gmail.com. And make sure that you send these save files before the end of August. The deadline to submit eggs to this egg lock will be August 31st, 2022, because we'll be starting this series in early September. All this information is down below in the description. All of what we discussed here is in the description down below, so you can refer to it while you're creating the eggs. I think that's everything that we need to cover. The last thing I want to mention is that if for whatever reason you do not have access to PkHex, but you would still like to submit eggs to our egg lock, send an email to that email address that's on the screen there right now, tyee.blueflare.oras.egglocke@gmail.com, and we'll work out an alternate arrangement for you. All right. Happy egg creation, and we greatly look forward to all the eggs that are going to be submitted in the coming weeks. Until then, have yourselves an awesome time zone.